Alright guys, welcome back. Weather the Storm podcast. Your host Hurricane Shane, and again my brother, John Ron from Believe Elite Athletic Training, my coach, my man. What's up? We're back. Today we're going to talk about fight prep, which is a very broad subject, but it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there is actually a ton to talk about, and actually hearing you say that, I was like, this might be a little while, but it's cool because we're both in the fight prep together, and Shane mentioned on episode 1 what his day looks like with training, where he's at Tiger Schulman for majority of the morning, and then he comes home, and then he's here for a good hour to an hour and a half training and going hard. So there's a lot of elements to fight camp and fight prep. What's your favorite, and what's the one you hate the most?
That's a great question. Number one, for what I hate the most is dieting. Because I'm a big featherweight. I cut a good amount of weight, but I do it the smart way. But I'm super strict with it too, and I become obsessive with it. But man, it's so mental, and it takes a toll on you. So once I'm done with the fight, the first thing I do is just try to eat as much as possible. But dieting is definitely the hardest and the worst part about fighting, I'd say. My favorite part, that feeling once you're done with a brutal workout, the rush of endorphins and feeling like you just leveled up. That feeling, I love that feeling.
Yeah, that's cool you say that, man, because you can honestly almost I can see it in you when you finish sessions in here, and rightfully so. Like you earned, it's almost like the mini victories. You earn the little wins to get the big win.
Exactly.
The dieting part, as much as it sucks for you, it's pretty fucking stressful for me because I help Shane with his nutrition to get him down to the weight that he wants to be at right as soon as he gets to fight week.
Yep.
Which is what's that weight for you? What's that number that you like?
The goal is to show up on fight week. We'll get there on Tuesday. The goal is to show up around 158 pounds. That's the goal. And that's me at 100. I'm a big guy. Me at 158 pounds. I'm shredded. I'm well fed. I've been counting my macros. He's been helping me do that. It took me forever to actually do it. And this is the most I've ever eaten for a fight, which has been nice, like really nice. Like there's some times where I'm like, wow, I didn't hit my macros. So what that means? I got to eat 8 ounces of steak tonight. I'm having an 8-ounce steak salad at night. I'm like, wow, this is actually really nice, and the weight's coming off. So it's one of those stigmas where a lot of wrestlers and stuff like that, you starve yourself. I mean, it definitely works, but you feel like crap. But counting my macros, it's been awesome. I've been doing keto, a lot of low carb days when I don't have as hard training sessions, but on those harder training sessions, I get to have my carbs, I get to have my 150 grams of protein every day. So counting the macros has been like a game changer, especially for this one. This one I came in, the goal was to show up at 158. I think I showed up at 157 and a half around there.
Yeah, no, the weight cuts have been getting smoother. I thought the Cub cut was real good.
And that one I cut more for that one than for this one.
Yeah.
Two more pounds.
And you had less time to cut the Cub.
So a lot less time.
That's where the UFC is kind of crazy in my opinion, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast with the business. But
when opportunity calls, you got to answer that. It knocks.
Yep, I hear you. Now, let them know what you're cutting from.
Should I?
I don't know. That's up to you. I mean, I know it, and it's crazy.
It is. I cut from about 175 pounds. So that's like my walk around weight in shape. But once I start counting my macros, the weight literally starts falling off. So about 3 weeks, I'd say, before the fight, my body fat is super low. I'd say I'm probably around 100 in the 60s, in the low 60s, 163.
Yeah.
Between 163 and 165. And then the rest is really meticulous little details, like those low carb days and knowing when to put your carbs in and stuff like that, and that's how I'm able to make the weight. And my last weight cut went super smooth. Everyone's talking about how big of a featherweight I am, but my weight cuts have been going smooth. I've never missed weight once. A lot of people talk, stop cutting so much weight. I've never missed weight once. I've never even come close to missing weight. I'm never gonna miss weight. I signed a contract to make the weight. I'm gonna make the weight. I'm not gonna give any of my money away for missing weight. So I take the diet part super serious, and that's why I hate that part the most, honestly, because it sucks.
No, I mean, listen, dieting for everybody is pretty crappy, let alone someone who's putting in as much work as you are on a daily basis. So I'll talk a little bit about the carb cycle that we do. The way I approach it with Shane is we just talk a lot, and we really just kind of communicate on how he's feeling, because that's the number one thing. we could cut carbs and go real low carb and the weight's coming off, but he feels like shit. And that's not how you want to walk into Tiger Showman's. That's not how you want to walk into strength training sessions. We want you to have the most power and the most energy.
Yeah.
So that's where timing of the macros comes in. And Shane's done a really good job over definitely the past 2 weight cuts. I think the first fight that me and you prepared for, we were kind of just feeling it out. I didn't want to disrupt, what was going on. But now that we've been together for this long,
we're locking it in.
Yeah, we're locking it in big time. The trust is there and it works,
Yeah.
which is obviously the
Yeah,
best
like
part.
my wife's been telling me to count my macros for a while now, and she'll probably be mad that I'm counting them now because he told me to. But you've been telling me for a while too. But I actually did it, and I'm telling you guys, it's a game changer.
Yeah, it does work, and again, I don't know how many fighters do it.
I don't think many.
Yeah, well, it's
So that's a tip for all the other guys in the
you're
in the
welcome.
UFC. You're welcome. Count your macros. Makes it easier for you.
But even though people know how to do it, it's still hard. It still
Yeah.
takes discipline, sacrifice. There's a lot to it, and again, you do a great job with it, and it's awesome. He actually texted me. I think it was either after your weigh-in or the day of the fight, and you're just like, I feel like a superhero. And I was just like,
Yeah.
you're refueled, you're refed.
Yep.
And I know I've had that feeling in the past with dieting and stuff like that, and no one knows what that feels like. Like that is just like you literally feel like Wolverine.
Yeah. That's what
which-
you want to feel like going into a fight. So,
100%. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yep.
When you're training, obviously you train at Tiger Showman's with some of your teammates were on the card with you,
Yep.
Julio and Lyman.
Yep.
What you're sparring, you're doing stuff with them too, right?
Yeah, man, it worked out actually perfectly. Lyman was like my main strength conditioning partner. Like
Yep.
he was
He
here
was up
grinding
here.
with me the whole time.
Yep.
And then Julio was my main sparring partner. So I was fighting a lefty.
Yeah.
He's fighting a righty. So he was my main sparring partner. So it worked out perfectly. They were both on the same card.
Yeah.
All three of us were on the same card.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. It was great to see all three of you guys get after it, and that's the second time you guys have all been
Yeah,
on that
we
card. Like,
ran
card
back.
that
We
shit.
did the same thing last year. But the energy in the gym, both gyms here, the energy was awesome. And then over there for our sparring sessions and for our grappling, wrestling, all that stuff, the energy was just electric.
Yeah, no, the energy here from first point of view, like
Yeah.
watching these guys grind it out and you feeding off of Lyman and Lyman feeding off
Yeah,
of you.
you can feel it. You
Oh,
can,
yeah.
you can feel
Nah.
it. We're both grinding for that same goal. We're not just going through the motions, something
Yeah.
like that. You can see it.
And before we close this one up, understand that the goal for the team, especially up here at Believe Elite, was make a statement. So even though we didn't get fight of the night, the bonuses weren't there, even though they probably could have been for both guys.
Yeah.
I think statements were
Definitely made.
sure as shit made at UFC 244, and I'm excited for the next couple weeks and hear what's coming for you, because I think it's going to be good.
Exactly. We'll just stay ready until then. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Check out social media. Both of us have our Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts.
Yep.
You are at
Hurricane Shane B on Twitter and at Hurricane Shane _ on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me.
All right, guys. We will talk to you.